You are on mute.
Oh, wow. I was. So you didn't hear what I called you? I called you a wonderful co-host, and I'm gratified to be here. Another, as I say, another week has gone by. Any crazy stuff? I mean, we know that week before we definitely had that conviction stuff, but this week I think the only thing was a no to congestion pricing. What's up with that?
Oh, I didn't even hear about that, but I agree with it. But
Oh, that's because you're a bike rider, okay?
well,
Yeah.
I think it's weird. It was interesting when we interviewed Mayor Eric Adams. He was first to tell us, "Hey, they forced it on him. It wasn't." So
True, true.
he's like, "Don't blame me on that one."
Right, and this actually was a vote by the governor on this particular one, but it's a pause. It's not we're not doing it. It is a pause indeed. So, but you know what? Now watch. We're in spring, and when spring happens, we have, let's say, the colors, the vibrancy. We have art.
Okay.
Good, because I understand that you were also hanging out on the Hudson for some art.
Yes, I was. Yes, performing art. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Night Watchman, then let's bring back a veteran to Soul Lounge prime time. And that, of course, is only Mr. Ulysses Scott Williams. Ulysses!
How's it going?
Welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be here. How are you all
It's
doing?
good, man. And
Great.
and remember, it's that time of year. So can you say Governor's Island?
Governor's Island. It is that type of year. It's Art Crawl Harlem along with about like 27 other non.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've expanded.
Yeah. Well, we've expanded. We're at a much larger location. Our house is now at 403 Colonel's Row. And it's allowed us to really have some high impact this year.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
So I understand that you brought two of your team members. Who are they? Who we
I
got going
did.
on?
First, I brought Sika Foyer, who is a multimedia artist originally from Togo, Africa. She is actually assisting me with some of the administrative work or day-to-day management of the residency house on Governor's Island, as well as she is in residence working on a series of work. She is actually a graduate of Baroque in finance. She found herself in business before deciding to concentrate on her creative path. And then,
Beautiful.
yeah. So welcome,
Nice.
Sika.
Welcome,
Yes.
Sika.
Yeah, welcome.
I brought with me Shenna Vaughn,
Ooh.
she has her MBA. She is a
Hold it
artist.
back up for a second.
Well as,
How these people, these artists are finance people, but yet art is the thing that resonates with them?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we always follow that path where you can make more money, whether it's based on the community or your family pushing you to do so. And then at some point, you have to follow your art follow your heart. And I think that art has been first therapeutic for a lot of individuals before they decide to go on a professional path.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. And so Shenna is a curator. She's an entrepreneur. And she is a mixed media artist doing big things. And she's just starting her path with her residency with Art Crawl Harlem.
Excellent. Okay. Well, we're gonna hear about that journey. So let's bring up the chair of the Arts and Culture Committee for Community Board 9 in Manhattan, Miss Tina Lumley. Bring her up. Yes. Hey, Tina.
Welcome, Tina.
And you're on mute.
Welcome, thank you. And I'm the co-chair of the Arts and Culture Committee.
Oh, that's right. Walter Alexander is the other co-chair.
No, the other co-chair is Daria Hardiman.
Ooh, thank you. Okay. Well,
the community. Okay.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
The community board is the whole purpose is to help our local residents. The Arts and Culture Committee, we try to collaborate and bring people together and share information as much as possible with our local artists and art institution. We decided to have a visual showcase of our local talent in Community Board 9. We sent out e-blasts to obtain artists and they completed applications. We visited many local institutions to see if they were willing to showcase the actual artists. We have 7 artists at 5 different places being showcased throughout West Harlem.
All right.
Now until the end of the summer.
I'm loving it. Yes,
All
thank
right.
you, Tina. And I understand that you have one of your team members here.
Yes, we do. We have Ana Bravo. Ana is a Mexican-born, California-raised mixed media artist.
Very,
We're promoting, we're having an art crawl on June 21st, which is several Fridays from now.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so we're going to do, as I say, a Night Watchman, what we're going to do, go around the horn, okay? And of course, we'll start out with you veteran, sir, Ulysses, and tell me about Art Crawl for those who actually don't know what it is for the first time. So give me an overview. Art Crawl.
So Art Crawl Harlem, to be exact,
Thank
it was a company actually founded in 2008 by a Harlem tour guide and a gallery owner. And they just started offering tours to art spaces in Harlem. So
was that a woman by the name of Jacqueline Orange?
That was.
Okay,
and,
gotcha.
They did that for several years, visiting private studios and galleries and places like the Schomburg Museum and the Harlem Hospital. And then they ventured into doing curated exhibits and including that trolley tour along with the curated exhibits. That way, getting more galleries on board as far as exhibiting during a certain time period and really trying to market their existence to the larger population and getting more people coming up to Harlem for the arts. So that's where we started. And then in 2020, we applied for the residency program on Governor's Island. And I say now that if it wasn't for this residency program during the pandemic, we might not still be around.
Wow.
So we were able to offer a residency space during that time and presently for artists to grow in their work and their narrative and really create work that they're proud of.
Beautiful, beautiful. And so one of the things, Sika, that when we started down this road, understanding that both you and Shenna come from a finance background. So I have to say that how did you get into that? And then also what made you pivot and embrace that inner thing, the art? Oh, I think you're on mute. Night Watchman.
I don't know. We're not hearing you.
Okay. We're going to then come back. Shenna, you're up. Can you tell us?
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Good.
It's interesting. I ended up getting my BA later. So I studied like sociology. I've been doing arts. I stopped. I did art again. But what brought me back to the arts is it's a lifeline. It's been my lifeline. And so realizing in my community where there's not enough opportunities, that's where the whole curation came into play, and creating cohorts with additional artists within my community, which is Jamaica, Queens. The importance of having a place where we can, exchange ideas, exchange details, and also have a place to work. So it was more about finding out the right places, the opportunities, and a space has really been an issue because where do we create? In our home, right?
Yes.
And so the opportunity with Art Crawl Harlem and being able to go to Governor's Island and have massive space, like space to actually work. Yes, it's massive space to work and create our craft. And so I've been focused on like helping and assisting other people in addition to my craft. But what I love more is now this is an opportunity for me to focus more on what it is that I am creating. And then in turn, as I'm creating, find opportunities for myself and just bring additional people along. Like if I find out some information or opportunities, like why not share it? Because there is more than enough for all of us. And then with the MBA, it's important to be knowledgeable in your craft, especially the finance side, because as an artist, a creative, we do everything.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And a lot of times I find myself wanting to just create. I'm like, oh, that other stuff, it'll work itself out. But important to understand like the value, and it's important to understand like, you know, what you're putting out and what you're bringing in financially, because we still need to eat, right?
Yeah.
So
You don't want to be a starving artist. Is that correct?
and I refuse to use that term. I refuse to be a starving artist. So it's just a lot of opportunities that I search for, that's not readily accessible and able for artists like myself. And so within that, it's important to educate yourself, share that. It's important to just do the research, do the homework, so this way when people read your bios, or you are sitting at a table, you're able to articulate what it is you can bring to the table and show them that there is value in it. It's just not something to decorate a room.
Gotcha. I love that. So, Sika, how's your audio? Let's hear you. Night Watchman, we may have to have it go out one more time, or what do you think? Can you think you understand that you're all, Sika, I understand that you're also a finance major, but I wanted to know, when did you pivot? What made you pivot? And what has resonated to you about art?
I came in 1990, and I got my bachelor in economics. And it is true that most of the time in Africa, we don't think art is a way of living. We don't being an artist. So I was forbidden to even get into it. So I did my share of duty, got the economic degree, and then later on got my master's in urban policy, and worked in state finance in got enough money, but at the same time, I was never happy. I get home really, really stressed. And the only thing that can save me was my artistic practice. So I will do drawing on the weekends and do like macro photography. And then I gathered my courage and say that I have to do this. It's like I have to save my soul. Without
yes
art, I'm lost. So I left the as well and got my MFA in visual arts and start doing my artistic practice full time.
Beautiful. And certainly now with Tina, this is absolutely understand the first Art Crawl West Harlem. Is that correct? Tina, mute.
You're on mute.
So sorry. This is the second Art Crawl.
Okay. So tell me the genesis of the Art Crawl.
Okay, we're the community board, Arts and Culture Committee. We try to assist artists in any way we can. And we wanted to ensure that our visual artists had a platform to basically showcase their art. So we sent out an e-blast, and 11 artists from our community responded.
Nice.
And the next step was to find locations that would be able to showcase their art. There are 5 locations, and we decided, you know what? We need to have a reception. We need to have our own art crawl. So this is our first art crawl. We are going to, on June 21st, from 4 to 8. We have 5 locations, and we're going to, the art crawl starts at 4 p.m. and will end at 6 p.m. and then there'll be a reception at Zion Cafe, which is
yeah, very nice. And Tina, if you may, and indulge me, what are those 5 locations in West Harlem?
Well, we start off at 4 p.m. at George Bruce Library, 518 West 125th Street,
nice.
Amsterdam on Broadway. And our featured artist is Gloria Adams. At 4:30, we go to Cafe One, 1619 Amsterdam Avenue at 140th Street. The featured artist is Jana Titus. At 5 p.m., we wind up at Hamilton Grange Library, 503 West 125th Street. The artists are Margot Moore and Jonathan Senegal. Last but not least, excuse me, not last but not least, there's 2 more. At 5:30, we go to Chip Cup, 148th Street. 1310 Broadway, 148th Street. The featured artist is Danielle Esperanza. And we conclude the art crawl at 6 p.m. at Zion Cafe, 763 St. Nicholas Avenue. And the featured artists are Bonnie Phillips and Anna Bravo.
Very
Anna
nice.
is our person of the day that's going to be featured today. Wow. Last but not least, from 6 to 8, there'll be a reception at Zion Cafe. They graciously agreed to host the reception. There'll be live music, light refreshments will be served. And so we really would love you to come along. And you might find your favorite artist, new favorite artist.
Wow. Thank you. Yes. And now watch, we know about Padmore and BJ, so this is going to be really, really special. I'm excited.
Circle it on your calendar.
Okay, we got it for sure. And do tell. So Anna, what was your journey like? Give me a little synopsis in terms of your journey in art.
Okay, so I started off like any other kid, coloring all the time, and then it wasn't anything that was really encouraged growing up in an immigrant household. We were just, trying to get by and everything. No extra art supplies around or anything. I don't even think. I grew up in a small town. I was born in Mexico. Came here to the U.S. when I was 3. I grew up in a small town in California.
Mistake and change the
Salinas, California.
Oh no, I turned it back.
No, Ulysses, mute. But go ahead. I'm sorry, Anna. Go ahead.
Yeah. I didn't even go to my first museum, I don't think, until I was in my 20s. So I moved to San Francisco in the Bay Area. I lived there, and it was just the art there was amazing. The energy. The creativity, and I just sort of fell into it and wanted it to be a bigger part of my life. I did my undergrad in art.
Nice.
And then I obviously need to, pay my bills and everything. So I decided to do library science. I came out here for graduate school, and that was like 2005, and have been here ever since. I've been in Harlem for 11 years now.
Wow.
And
nice.
Just trying to make art a bigger part of my life, or just it comes in and out at times, and try to focus on my series, and then when that comes out, then I can move on to the next. And so it's been a constant since my early 20s, and I think I'm at a point now in my life where I think I've become like the person that I need to be for it to be a bigger part of my life now. So
nice, very nice. And certainly I know Ulysses, hearing that story, and also knowing what Art Crawl Harlem has also done for the artists in the community, because I certainly do know that last cadre of artists, they had a lot of stuff going on. So with this particular cadre, would you say that is going to also be the case?
I think that each year I try to up the ante. I think normally I've never worked with more than 4 to 6 artists during.
And now you got 27. Is that correct?
No, this year I have 20 artists coming through our house.
Gotcha.
We have about 6 artists who have been accepted as official artists in residence.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that includes photographers and videographers as well.
Wow.
And as you know, the title of the residency is Boundaries and Connections, and that's what I hopefully people will discover about themselves. And it's always themed. So this year's theme is games people play. So we ask the applicants to create a narrative within that theme, as well as we try to exhibit that within the house every weekend when we welcome people there. So they get to engage with art, as well as play games on a huge front porch, and interact and strategize and have fun with each other. One thing that I love about the program, which the artists can really talk about, is that I do one-on-ones with the artists, just so that I can discover who they exactly are, how they're showing up, and how they're developing in their craft. And I think Sika and Shenna can just speak from their personal standpoint in regards to that.
Gotcha. Well, Shenna already said and whatnot. She got to figure out how you're going to pay these bills, okay? And she does not embrace the moniker starving artists. I love that. Love that.
I don't either.
Because you put that into the ether, and the next thing you know what, you're in rags, not riches. But yes, so do tell me. You just heard what Ulysses said. Go.
Yeah. So what I love about the space is just basically it's a collective, right? There's there's 20 of us, right? But there's a collective of artists that you can feed off of. I love the one-on-ones that we have every week because it forces me to think deeper into my practice. Like, because when I'm normally creating, I'm by myself. It's solitude. I'm home and creating, and there's really no one to like bounce ideas off of or even speak about what I'm working on. So being able to have that cohort and have Ulysses there to bounce an idea or think of something that I haven't thought of and go deeper into the practice, like what is the story that I'm trying to say? Like what is the series that I'm looking to generate? Because yes, you can easily paint or create a one-off, but when it comes to a series of work, a body of work within a theme, I feel that it's important to be able to converse and go deeper along with my research, but just to be able to be in the space and not have to worry about like, okay, let me move my plate so I can actually go into it. You know, I can actually just spread my wings and just go crazy and just create, go ham, I like to say. And just being able to have that, what I'm realizing is very important. I think I think every artist should be able to, you know, somehow have that opportunity because it kind of takes you on a different journey. Yes, I'm still creating my body of work, but just being able to have a different lens within the body of work. Like I'm excited to see what I create compared to what I've been creating. So, yes, and I just love the theme that, you know, games people play because, you know, what games I play with myself, you know, what games are, you know, you playing, like, you know, whether it's in culture, pride, you know, just a range of stuff. So I am grateful for this experience.
Beautiful, beautiful. And so Night Watchman, you don't want to let folks know about your artistic prowess, right? Not at this point.
Well, I prefer to ask questions. I want to talk to you, Ulysses, about the art of facilitating artists, because that's the art that you practice, and it's not as evident, and yet it's really powerful. And I want you to talk about your arc, because this is the third time you've been on the show, 3 years in a row, and your arc from 3 years ago to now, how you develop your themes and how you develop these multiple conversations with these artists that allow them to flower and reach their peaks. And I think that that's an art in and of itself that we want to hear from you about, how you've developed your own unique style that has had such a strong imprint on Art Crawl.
Well, I had to think about that also this year because, you know, this is our 5th year on the island. And during the first year, it was quite simple, just honoring the Harlem Renaissance and 100 years of art and culture and the impact of Harlem on the global society. Harlem is not just a place, it's a spirit, it's a feeling, it's a culture that is pervasive. And people already come to Harlem from other places, you know, with that feeling and knowledge, you know. And also it's the fact that we're in Upper Manhattan. I like to say Harlem is everywhere. So I try to build off the needs of the community, not only the community of artists, but also what the community of Harlem has been and will be in the future. And so I do come up with the themes and in hopes that people, in a large landscape to land on, in hopes that artists will get into the vibe. And as far as facilitating the artists, we do a call. And artists can apply for the residency program and for installations as well. But I also do go out seeking artists. This year, we have about 7 artists that are doing installations within the house.
Gotcha.
We have the Quilt and Obelisk by Aaron Cobbett, who is a HIV positive artist, who is also a creative, used to do Bergdorf's windows, you know, he came to New York, was a famed photographer, and then he decided to concentrate in quilts, the area of quilts as far as his artistry. We have Lydia Noble's sculptures honoring abortion stories, which I thought was timely, right? And as far as games people play and how this ties into it, because there's always a political and social and financial gain in everything we do. And I wanted artists to, especially the artists in residence, to be able to interact with the art of artists who are at a level of doing installations, right? It changes the narratives. It gives them something to aspire to, you know, and also, and even for next year, I've decided it's all Harlem focused. I'm looking for artists that can really speak to the spirit of Harlem. And so that application will be out hopefully in November if if I don't pass out from being tired.
Very good, very good.
I mean, you've done a great job of turning Renaissance from a noun into a verb and creating this renewable model that it addresses each artist individually, but collectively has such a profound impact. So, you know, it's been a joy for us to have you on and just every year see what the progression is and what's the new theme. And here's the question I want to know. So you're in the new house, right? You're in the big house. Is there a bathroom?
Wow.
There is no bathroom, but I think that's the charm of it all. It takes me back to South Carolina with my grandparents' farm. When I first got there as a kid, there was an outhouse, right? So I think we have to be reminded of from where we've come. And so this year we are closer to the bathroom.
See, a night watchman, I can't. Yeah. Anyway,
we're moving on up.
Sika, we'll go back to the stuff that, of course, Shanae was talking about. But also, you know what? I need some plumbing. Okay, I just need plumbing. But hey, please tell me about your good process and you know what has been resonating with you, because it sounds like, Ulysses, you're also a psychologist or therapist too, huh?
Well, Sika will let you know how good I am.
See, go ahead. Yes.
Art Crawl Harlem is a home away from home for me. Like I said, I came here and I didn't know a lot about America, and what I have seen really shocked me on several levels. And I didn't understand how people can treat each other the way they do, and how they wear masks. And the mask can be financial, can be intellectual, and the red line, you know, like I'll get on the 90th Street, everything changed. The complexion of the people, the neighborhood, even the dogs on the street are different. So I was very, very shocked. So when I was doing my creativity, I tapped into my African ancestry, wanted to really call onto them and then to understand and to heal myself. So when I applied for Art Crawl Harlem residency, it was like going home. African people from that have lived the life of African life, you know, before you know, several generations, and they have gone through pain. And the like Harlem Renaissance is also about renewal and rebuilding. So with this, my morning, the Tuesday mornings are therapeutic, like you said, you know, to ask me questions and I know where to go. But with the space that I received there and the time, it's like I just go in and pour myself into the work, use my body and my sound language as a way of processing and healing. So I do a lot of drawing.
Got you. Very, very good. And so, Tina, now you have been in Harlem, based in Harlem. How long now? Are you originally from Harlem, so you know the whole experience?
I'm originally from the South Bronx.
Oh, that's right. As I tell people, right? Not Wakanda, the BX baby, all day. Yes.
And no soul bro, South Bronx.
Excellent. But of course, we as a distant neighbor, a close neighbor, we know about the history of Harlem, the Renaissance, all that thing. So in
Yes,
terms
very
of
much. And I'm a Harlem resident for 14 years.
nice. So in terms, so you heard Ulysses in terms of themes about the crawl. So what is the particular theme that is speaking to the West Harlem crawl?
The theme is a celebration of West Harlem MCB9 artists. This
Mm,
is to showcase, to give them a forum to showcase their works. As was mentioned earlier, we want to get the works from out of the house to being seen by the public.
gotcha.
We have so many creatives, we have so many people with so many talents, and we're giving them an opportunity to show their stuff.
Nice.
And collaborating with local libraries, local restaurants to actually that's helping us in that endeavor, and we're so grateful.
Beautiful. And certainly, Anna, we certainly do know that. I would say that San Francisco has a vibrant art scene. You know, Castro, the Mission District, all that stuff. So, but yet you saw opportunity here in the East, in New York. Tell me.
So yeah, so I did live in San Francisco for 2 years, and then I moved over to Oakland, which really
yes.
was such an amazing place, creative, politically, like everything, you know. When I moved to New York for grad school, I lived in Brooklyn for a while, but then you know, got married, a little more space, so we moved up here to Harlem, and it really feels like I'm back in Oakland, back home. You know, the creativity, the community, everything is just amazing. And like walking into Sion Cafe,
yes.
I felt like I was walking into a place in Oakland, like, you know,
nice.
Wonderful. Like I feel like, you know, full circle moment when I walked in there. So it's been cool, you know.
Beautiful. And any thoughts about maybe putting some of your work right there hanging in Sion Cafe?
Oh, I am.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm one of the artists.
Nice. Okay. Very good.
I have 5 pieces hanging in there.
Okay. Night Watchman, get ready.
Oh, well, we can all take advantage of watching those pieces on June 21st when there is an art crawl that's going to end up at the Sion Cafe where we get a chance to see Anna's work.
Yes. Okay. Very good. Well said. So I'm thinking now, Ulysses, man. Certainly, I do remember when we visited a couple of years ago. There was just a beautiful talk back that the public could engage the artists who were in residence. Will that also be happening there in the new house?
Yes, we're going to have several artist talks this year. Every month we'll most likely have artist talks. For example, and a lot of programming. This Saturday we have Wikipedia and AfroCrowd.
Explain that one. Go ahead.
On Saturday, Wikipedia will have their annual picnic. They collaborate with AfroCrowd, and AfroCrowd is sponsoring a workshop entitled Demystifying AI for Creatives. That'll take place at 2:30. The following Saturday, we have a group of artists that are doing a picnic as well. After that, we'll have a artist talk featuring Lydia Nobles, conversation with art writer Jules Dotson. And then finally, bringing up Pride Weekend, we will have an exhibit, artist talk with Aaron Cobbett discussing his obelisk and quilts and so on. And in July, we will put up a photo exhibit featuring Ernie Paniccioli, the famed hip hop photographer. And we also have painter Frank Duces on exhibit as well. So we'll be turning over a lot this year. It'll be so exciting. So I just want everyone to come out Friday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 5. We open our doors and welcome you in.
Oh, beautiful. And so, Shenna, I did hear in terms of you and the solitary process. You really enjoy that. But then you also are ready to engage in the public coming to you and asking you those questions, engaging them. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. I'm so excited about that because it's different than when you're creating a when I'm creating public facing art like a mural. Like it's one thing to like, have the community engage, but it's another one, it's my body of work because it's an extension of who I am. It's personal, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
it's different to have them come in and see the process, which I totally welcome.
You
It
don't get
happens.
nervous, huh?
I mean, not anymore. Not
Gotcha.
anymore. It's just different
Nice.
from creating a mural. That it does I'm not nervous with that, right? Because that's
Mm-hmm.
public facing art. But
Yes.
my body of work, I'm like, this is my baby, it's a totally different experience, which I definitely welcome. And I'm not nervous anymore. It actually aids in explaining the why behind it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Explaining the process and showing the process. And then it also shows that people really would like to know the process.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they are fully engaged because, they may have like a child. Like I met with someone last week who was like, how do you even do this? Because my daughter wants to do this. And I'm telling her that she needs to go and be either like a doctor or an engineer. And I was like, wow, I actually understand that because that was my upbringing. Like arts was not embraced. And so they was like, so I'm actually seeing it full hand. I was like, you actually get to embrace it. Like, allow them to, delve into it, So yeah, I'm loving the process. Excited
Beautiful.
about the process.
Nice, nice. Well, one of the things, and Sika, you got to comment on this because certainly I heard it from Shanae and also from you in terms of parents and the pressure, especially immigrant parents. Because Anna, I know you went through the same thing. Doctors, lawyers, physicists, all that particular art. What the hell's going on? So, answer me this: whether or not you've chosen your path, whether or not your family, parents have then maybe finally embraced it, and also maybe come to see your stuff.
Unfortunately, my mother and father passed away.
Oh, sorry to hear that, my dear.
Yes. But I believe that they will have embraced it because today, when I say today, not like right now, but a few years now, I have been realizing that I have to embrace my past to live the time. And to do that, I have to do art. So
Yes.
I recently reached out to my aunt, my father's sister, and she must be like in her 80s now. So we'll
Wow,
have
God bless. Yes.
the village, the people there. One thing that I do in my work, and I think Ulysses was able to help me to articulate myself, it's like a lot of things is within my culture. Tell, we act it, we sound it, we dance it, but we don't say it. And if we do, we use riddles and parables. I'm putting in my work. So when I have people coming in my space and I have to explain to them, it has been a little bit difficult. Part of it, because I feel like I'm betraying my parents and my aunt. And then the other side is I really need to talk. And that's why I like also Art Crawl Harlem, because I'm speaking to my ancestry who came here and who evolved and who are making it. So to take where they're from and to show them symbolism, movement, and sacred geometric figures, how they can tap into that energy and be resilient. And so it's really a pleasure for me to show the process. I know we have all sort of people who come through it, but I really appreciate the space and to share it with people and show them that we're here to stay.
Love it, love it, love it. So, and Ulysses, I'm just throwing this out there, and there's no pressure at all, because certainly you did say that next year you're looking to actually have those particular artists who may be already in Harlem participating in Art Crawl Harlem.
Yeah.
So let's say those who are doing the West Harlem crawl, they can apply, huh?
Oh, anyone can apply. Anyone in the New York City area can apply.
No. That's
But
watering it down a little bit. But go ahead. Let me
well, I
hear
have
it.
to say that, we have to be
Okay.
open to all, right? And
That's true.
but I want the narrative, the work, whether it's installation, whether it's a painter, whether it's a collagist, whether it's a photographer, that really speaks to the history and the future of Harlem. So I think it's important that we first tap into exposing the work of those artists that live here, right? That live in Harlem. So that is the goal. But one other thing I wanted to touch on that Anna kind of alluded to, when artists show, it's also important that we support by purchasing, right? And consider being collectors ourselves. I'm a collector, right? And I collect within my ability, within my budget. I start with what I love first, and then I try and figure out, the coins. Right? And you can do that in so many different ways, and it first starts with a conversation. Hey, I have art, I'm still paying off. But if you love it and it stays on your mind and you know that you have a place for it and the artist speaks to you, because I've had people buy art and say, well, I'm buying it because of what the artist shared with me.
Nice.
So them being able to share their narrative behind their work is so important. And it fuels the ability for people to possibly collect.
Beautiful. And you know what, Tina, I did see you light up a little bit when Ulysses was talking about the fact that there could be an opportunity with ArtCrawl. So how does that resonate with you?
Oh, I think it's wonderful. Because I'm on the community board, we do not have we cannot have any financial interest in these endeavors. But we do have pamphlets for each artist with their a way to communicate with them and contact them. So whatever happens between the artist and the people who go to the exhibit, that's between the artist and the exhibitor. But to have an opportunity to showcase an art crawl at that wonderful location would be fabulous. And I hope that everyone on the call will be able to come to the or go on your own to any of those 5 locations or attend the art crawl on the 21st.
Beautiful. And certainly, Tina, I do know that with you also bringing the information to, let's say, the town hall of the Harlem Arts Alliance was so vitally important, and that's how we met.
Yes, that was exactly it. Yes, that was it.
Absolutely. So that's good. So I'm now thinking about you, Anna, and just hearing and whatnot, that it is indeed resonating. That you know what, you got to get paid. The best way to do it is for us to really show the support. Ulysses said it: buy some damn art, become a collector. Is that one of the things that you deeply believe in as well?
I do. I think if it speaks to you, you should look into getting it. Like, why go to Target or whatever and buy like this, mass-produced piece when you can have something really personal that really speaks to you. Like I'm able to pay my bills with my librarian salary, but it's always like nice when someone wants to really like purchase my stuff and likes it, because I work from the heart, So yeah, when people connect with it, it's so special. And I will add that I will have a lot of different works. I will have prints available for a lot of like a big range in price. So yeah.
Gotcha. And
accessible, right?
Yes, you definitely want that. And then also, Anna, because you said you got a full-time gig. Do you discipline yourself that every day I'm going to actually do my art, my craft as well?
So it's tough because I also have kids at home, and
Wow. How many kids you got at home?
I have two. At home. And my daughter she's in her, we had a 3-bedroom, she's in her room now, which she totally, needs to be in. And so my studio space has kind of disappeared into the ether, but I'm to work digitally now. So I work digitally and like, you know, pretty much map it all out digitally. And then now I can pick and choose which ones I really love and work together. And so I could, you know, instead of like painting and repainting and then putting them all up and being like, oh, what works? I can do that digitally and smaller and like not take up any space in my house until I really need to take up the space. Then I'm like, okay, this is, you know, I'm taking over now.
Nice.
Yeah, you know, that it's the space thing is an issue in Harlem and or in the city and anywhere. So yeah, I feel fortunate that I've been able to sort of pivot into a way that I can still create. And also being a librarian, I'm a children's librarian, so I get to be creative all the time. I do art programs with the kids all the time, you know, get to work on displays. So I'm still getting that creativity fix.
And do tell me which library are you at?
I work at the Harlem Library on 124th.
Oh yes, absolutely. Right by Marcus Garvey Park.
Yes,
Absolutely.
right. Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Mhm.
Okay. So now, okay, I'm throwing this out there. Tell me that you guys may be familiar with Shishama.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And do you remember when Shishama was in the underutilized property that Scott Metzner and Jerry Salama of Janus had, where they had that raw space that they could use? Is that something that's important and should be encouraged to developers? Ulysses, what do you think? Talk to me.
Of course, you know, I've whispered in your ear a couple of times about the importance that developers should commit to artists in the community, because artists, they're markers in time. They speak to our history, and we know how difficult it is for an artist to afford studio space and an apartment. We know how difficult it is to find housing. So if developers come into the community, and it has been done in other places, they should commit to a certain percentage of space for artists and creatives in a genre of areas.
Gotcha. And well said. And certainly, Tina, this also speaks to you, because I certainly do know that Jan's Property worked very closely with Community Board 9 in terms of their rezoning there for the factory district. All right.
They absolutely did, especially with the Economic Development Committee.
Yes. So there's something in terms of co-locating shared space for artists. That's something that you guys would absolutely support, huh?
Positively.
Nice. Okay. Well, we did hear in terms of Shanae, you know, finding artist space. I mean, it should be encouraged. It should be nurtured. I mean, certainly we have WeWorks, but go ahead.
But it doesn't speak to the craft. It speaks to the admin. Yeah. So like we can't, like, yes, there is WeWork, but does it really speak to the painters? Does it speak to the sculptures?
Right.
It doesn't speak to that. So if there is something like a WeWork, right, that actually is geared for visual artists, then by all means, yes.
We
will gather there. Yes.
Okay. And Night Watchman, I'm not sure if you remember when we were talking about Mart 125 on Art 25th Street.
I was thinking about that group that was
Spaceworks.
Yes. And so that their model is that, but you know, they weren't able to work out the business and politics. And that's the interesting thing about this conversation is that the work that Ulysses and Tina are doing to help facilitate markets for artists is so important, because there's always been this issue about valuation of our art and culture. And there's always been a push-pull between utilizing it and undervalue it. There's been many times where artists just get undervalued. For example, the from a real estate standpoint, when you have an area that they want to make cool and then later gentrify, they let the artists come in, do loft space, and then the real estate come in, and then they sell all the loft space and drive out all the artists, and then they go somewhere else and then do it again. We've seen that cycle repeat in different areas, from the lower Midtown,
Williamsburg.
Yeah, then
right?
pushed out
Yeah,
to Williamsburg, which
yeah.
then pushed out to Bushwick. So
Dumbo. Yep, you
we've
got
seen
it.
that time and time again.
Yeah.
But you can even go back to the great museums of the world are filled with culture that was appropriated from different areas of the world. They went to
Hmm.
Africa, they went to Latin America, and the art that was indigenous was snatched up for cheap and then put on display in
True.
these great museums. And so what we can do to create our own marketplace and develop structures for artists to be able to do their art and be sustainable is probably the most important thing we can do, and at the same point in time raise awareness and value within our communities of our culture.
Absolutely, and certainly I do know, Sika, in terms of, let's say, art from Africa, Togo, no exception or whatnot. I can go to, let's say, Great Britain. I can see a lot of that stuff on display.
Yes, Art of Africa, what the Western world have been promoting is the tourist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people will create to please the tourist only because again, they have to put the food on the table for the family
Yes.
and
True.
relatives.
True.
So the creativity itself, for the sake of creativity, is sort of lost because it's not sustained. So it's the same
True.
problem as we have here. So I think there is a real problem to the artists to really own their craft and
Mm.
do it, and for the sake of the art and legacy, to leave something sustainable or something significant for the next generation, and then not necessarily because of the tourist gaze or what they want right now, but it's more
Mm.
about what we tell. So even
Mm.
100 years from now, it's still there
Yes.
as
Yes.
an archaeological object to observe and to learn from. So
Mm.
yes, we do have art everywhere. Togolese art, Beninois, Ivory Coast, and but I think the problem is to really help these artists to really work on their craft and preserve our ancestry and histories.
A-
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Well, Night Watchman, you know what? We're
It's
getting ready.
lightning round time.
Lightning
Yes.
round. Get ready. Lightning round.
So
So,
we have a couple of guests that need to ease out quickly. So let's get to them really quickly. So Tina, um, if you could tell us once again about the art crawl.
yes.
June 21st from 4 p.m. through 8 p.m. starting at at the library on 125th Street, at George Bruce Library, concluding at 4 o'clock, concluding at 6 o'clock at Zion Cafe with 4 other spots in between. And at 6 o'clock, Zion Cafe, there will be a wonderful reception where 2 additional artists are featured as well, along with live music.
Okay.
And we hope to
Beautiful.
see you there. There's an Eventbrite information that's available right here. And
Yes.
please sign on because the space is limited at the cafe to 50 people. And we'd love
Gotcha.
to see you all. And you can visit the art in any of the other locations anytime you like until the end of the summer.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you for that. And of course, because I understand that you also may need to bounce, and that is you, Shanae. So do tell what you got popping. Tell us some thoughts. How do they get in touch with you? How do they make a purchase? Do tell. No, you're on mute.
Sorry.
That's
I have several things that I have popping.
Mhm.
We have so feel free to stop by Governor's Island to see the work that's progressing. And then in
Mhm.
addition to that, I have curated an art exhibition with 5 amazing artists that will be at Resorts World June 15th at 2 p.m. Feel free to
Mhm.
stop by there. And if you are traveling through Terminal 8 at JFK, I have a huge
Ooh.
installation up in there that includes my work along with 3 other artists that myself and William Bentley have curated through Vaughn Bentley Creative. So we have
Beautiful.
all these
Beautiful.
things popping. So yes, come by, come through. And you could reach me through Instagram through my name, Facebook through my name, LinkedIn through my name. You could also go to vaughnbentleycreative.com
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
reach as well.
Got it. Very nice. Very
Thank
nice. All right. So, Anna, what do you got popping? How can someone get in touch with you and also make a purchase? Do tell.
Just visit my site at annabravo.com. I'm also on Instagram and Anna Bravo Art. So
Nice,
there's
nice. So,
a site from there as well.
okay, okay. So, of course, my man, do tell, Ulysses, thoughts for what's happening there in Governor's Island, but also, let's say, future projects. I heard about Harlem Renaissance, but what else,
Yeah.
man? What else is popping?
Well, I wanted to say to Tina
Uh-huh.
that any artist that might be interested in our artist residency program for
Nice.
next year, that they can send an email to contact Art Crawl Harlem at gmail.com. And I'm making a list of Harlem-based artists right now that I'll be reaching out to. So I would love to get more on that list. And then beyond that, like Shanae had mentioned, Friday through Sunday, we opened May 17th. We will be on the island through November 3rd, Friday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 5. I invite everyone to please come out and see the works of art, the installations, as well as partake in the artist talks. They can go to artcrawlharlem.org for more information. The more, the merrier.
Beautiful, beautiful, and of course we talk about West Harlem Arts Alliance and Community Board 9. I'm thinking about also, let's say, NOMA. Any relation with them and consideration about their artists that they have in their portfolio?
I'm so sorry. I'm coming. I'm so sorry.
Northern Manhattan Arts Alliance. Go ahead, Ulysses. You're on mute.
Oh, I thought you were asking Tina that question. I haven't worked with them, but I see all the great work that they do within the community. They're constant with it, so I can't really speak to it. But I'm very well aware of their activities. Yeah.
Beautiful. And then
Yeah.
Tina, that's on you now. Northern Manhattan Arts Alliance.
We collaborate. I support them. They gave a wonderful reception last Friday.
Yep.
And I hopefully they'll support the Art Crawl on the 21st. And they come monthly to our monthly Arts and Culture Committee meeting.
Beautiful, beautiful. Then you know what, Night Watchman, take us home, buddy. Take us home.
You've been listening to Soul Lounge Primetime on WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem. Also live streaming on YouTube and Facebook. You can always find us on Monday evenings, 7 p.m. on the radio, 90.3 FM, and 8 p.m. live streaming on YouTube and Facebook. We want to thank our guests for sharing their points of view and experience, and for creating art that benefits all of us. And so tune in next week. We've got another exciting show coming up. It's so exciting we can't even tell you what it is right now.
So Night Watchman, are you telling me that this crew is as such that we'll actually invite them to the cookout?
Absolutely.
All right.
We might even hang up some of their art. That's right.
But you got to pay for it, baby. You got to pay
art
for
barbecue.
it.
Okay? I'm going to trademark that.
Folks, thank you. You have been tremendous. Okay, tremendous. But do me a favor, because he gets on me. So if you haven't done it already, upload that headshot and, of course, the repeat, Shanae, brief bio. Okay. Thank you all.
All right, folks.
Thank
Thanks a lot.
Okay. Take care, y'all.
And we'll see you on the Art Crawl on
Yeah.
June 21st.
That's right.
Yes, thanks
Yeah.
for the opportunity.
Absolutely. And I'm coming out to Governor's Island, so get ready.